So I see there's no precedent for me being funny. So I say a really dry joke and no one laughs and they think I'm being serious or think I'm being a jerk. But I, in my head, am just like, it's a Jason Bateman zinger.
Sure.
But my husband could say the same thing and people belly laugh. But it's because there's precedent. There's precedent for him being funny. So yeah, you just have to create precedent, and you start that by stop saying,
I will remember
I'm not funny.
I will remember what you're saying.
And your girlfriend needs to start telling you you're funny.
Geeks always have a little bit of a sense of humor. For my baby, I just did a giant set of which I feel like will haunt him for life. But what do they want at 1? Like he can't declare what he wants.
Yeah. What he wants at
Really?
1. Yeah.
I'll show you a picture after. They're pretty
Oh, I
amazing.
need to see
of the cake,
that.
not of
the
mine.
cake. Of your
Also
food.
amazing. Though.
Well, but I
You know how they say, what you give is what you get? Baby, that's facts. Folks got all kinds of theories on it, but it's real simple. Plant good seeds, and you go and get that good fruit back. Put out bad vibes? Whew, don't be shocked when that mess circles back on you. Even the Bible been saying this. Whatever fruit you serve up is what's coming on your plate. Karma? Oh, she don't play. The universe? Same thing. Energy don't lie. You pour in love and respect, that's what gon' hit you back. But treat folks like trash, chilly, expect that same raggedy energy to boomerang right to your front door. That's just how life serves it up. It's always that give and take. Looks like Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively trying to come for the whole internet is straight backfiring on them. 'Cause more and more content creators out here filing motions to shut that mess down. And baby, it's gotten so wild that even British actor Ahmed Jalili had to step in. Yeah, the same dude who popped up in Gladiator, The Mummy, Notting Hill, Pirates of the Caribbean, At World's End, and even lent his voice to Over the Hedge and Grand Theft Auto. This man is a comedian, a whole actor, and big time in the UK. But he's so fed up with this circus that he had to say, hold up, it's time to speak on this. He don't even usually speak on drama like that, but he said this Baldoni and Lively mess has gone real dark. And baby, this ain't no Amber versus Johnny situation. Not then, not ever. Now this thing got everybody involved, and trust me, it's way deeper than the gossip blogs want to make it sound. Let's run it back real quick. After the release of It Ends With Us last August, Blake Lively had the nerve to promote this domestic violence movie while pushing her fancy liquor brands. Baby, the audacity. Ryan Reynolds' marketing crew, Maximum Effort, caught heavy heat because everybody knows alcohol and domestic violence go hand in hand. But instead of taking that L and saying sorry, Blake started crying about how the internet was out to get her with some so-called untraceable smear campaign. Girl, please. Then, just to spin the narrative and save face for her hubby's failed movie campaign, she went on full attack mode, tossing her co-star and director, Justin Baldoni, under the bus with sexual harassment claims. And boom, that messy New York Times article dropped on December 21st. After Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, came through with the receipts proving no sexual harassment ever happened, and Blake's so-called crisis manager, Jed Wallace, who she accused of running that smear campaign, got booted from the case, Sis is now coming for anybody who so much as side-eyed her online. We talkin' 16 YouTubers and 20 folks on X, even hunting down accounts with like 38 followers. Baby, that's desperate. This ain't just petty, it's dangerous, straight up attacking free speech and trying to silence people who just got opinions. Now these creators getting dragged into federal court, but they clapping back hard. Even the mainstream media, who been quiet, are now saying, hold up. When you start demanding IP addresses and PayPal receipts from hobby bloggers, you're basically mugging the First Amendment in broad daylight. Daily Mail called it out too. And the real tea? These social platforms out here snitching, handing over private info so Blake and Ryan can bully folks behind the scenes. That's nasty. And why are they doing all this? Baby Blake Lively out here acting like her own worst enemy. This messy strategy? Oh, it's only gonna blow up in her face. Ryan's too. And listen, I actually liked these two once upon a time, but this clownery is showing us exactly who they really are. Ain't nobody supposed to be scared of calling out these rich, privileged celebs when they out here acting a whole fool with zero accountability. You can't feed the public your fake little version of events through the mainstream press and then try to smack down social media voices when the truth don't match your narrative. Shame on Blake and Ryan's law firm for these weak, cowardly subpoenas. Want to subpoena me for saying that? Baby, go ahead. Make my day. 'Cause we all know the real villains in this story are right there staring back at themselves in the mirror. And yes, he even dropped a photo of them looking dead at that mirror. So Omed got a whole resume, baby. He ain't just an actor, he's a straight-up comedian too. Been on tours, hitting stages, doing big comedy shows. even teaming up on British TV to hunt for the country's top comic. This man got a serious platform, and he's looking at this mess like, y'all done crossed the line, and calling it exactly how it is. And I gotta give him his flowers, because in his statement, he didn't just speak up, he straight out called out the media. He said the mainstream outlets are being spoon-fed Blake and Ryan's narrative, getting fed lies from high-profile corners, and then turning around to attack anybody who peeps the truth or even dares to ask a simple question. So Omid's words are making waves, honey. His post already racked up 3,000 likes, been seen over 236,000 times on Twitter, and it's getting picked up all over the internet. Big shout out to Omid for keeping it real. I just wish more celebs who know the tea would step up and say something too. But I get it. Most of them scared. They don't want to get dragged into subpoenas or caught up in legal drama, and honestly, folks are low-key shook of Blake and Ryan. But let's be real, at some point mainstream media gotta stop kissing up to these two. Like, what's the point of journalism if you just pushing their fake stories because you want Ryan's attention, or you scared of his threats? If you can't stand for the truth, then what do you even stand for? These outlets still pandering to Blake and Ryan are just showing they got zero credibility. Clearly, they only care about rubbing elbows with money and power. But now that Omid's statement is out here shaking tables, baby, a few motions to quash have started popping off. I talked to Kenzie, Mackenzie, and Ashley about their motions, and they both said Cassidy had their backs. Cassidy and Leanne even hopped online, went live, and spilled all the tea while working on these motions. Leanne, who got that law background in Britain, came through with some legal brains, and Cassidy handed out a whole template that other creators used. Ashley told me straight up she got her template from Cassidy, and Kenzie did too, though Kenzie's is a little different. And let's talk about Ken's for a second. This girl had just one follower on YouTube when Blake Lively actually subpoenaed her. When I first covered this story, Sis barely had 2,500 views across her videos. I just dropped a whole video spilling the tea on that mess with emailing Amber Heard's lawyer. But honey, we need to talk about what went down last week. I gave y'all a little sneak peek on Saturday, but this motion to quash from Cassidy O'Connell and a whole extra letter from a viewer who slid in like a content-creating vigilante is putting Blake on full blast in the public docket. Sis, it's looking real tragic. And the gag is, she did it to herself. Blake out here leading her own flop tour, canceling herself with front row seats. Like, I'm low-key impressed. And let's not sleep on Cassidy O'Connell. She ain't even a lawyer, but somehow whipped up a motion to quash that was tight, polished, and had legal flavor. Whew, let me put y'all onto this little gem she wrote, cause whew, the shade is real. Sis said, Miss Lively, who still can't seem to grasp that the online dragon she's getting is 100% homemade and fresh out of her own kitchen, just pulled another stunt guaranteed to wreck her already shaky rep. She out here taking wild swings at content creators on social like it's gonna save her. Girl. Meanwhile, her weak lil claim of retaliation ain't landin'. And now that discovery deadlines are creeping up, she's throwing a last-minute Hail Mary trying to fish up any receipts linking Wayfair, their lawyers, or somebody to the bad press. She is barking up the wrong damn tree. Now Cassidy, her motion to quash is trying to shut it all down for every content creator involved. And baby, I gotta say it loud. Thank you, Cassidy, for coming through with that boss-level energy. She's been putting in work on her channel, okay? Now don't get it twisted. She ain't some big-name creator with millions, but sis been dropping solid content, smart takes, and deep dives that really cut through. And let's be real. Some of them dives must have struck a nerve with Blake, and cause baby, she clearly ain't taking it well. Guess the truth started tapping on her ego a little too hard. I gotta highlight how she's masterful at calling out Blake's double standards. Girl wants stuff for herself, but won't let nobody else have the same. When it came to demanding our IP addresses, Cassidy clapped back hard. Ms. Lively herself made a strong case saying folks got a constitutional right to keep their financial info private. In her response to Wayfair trying to make her spill her own finances, Blake fought tooth and nail, saying that ain't no reason to ignore privacy rules or go digging through her pockets. Basically, Blake knows privacy rights exist, even if she's trying to break them for everybody else. Thank you, Cassidy. That was pure fire. Oh, and let's not forget, she also called out that Ryan Reynolds and Mint Mobile ads be popping all over her channel. So listen, if anyone's been paying me directly, that'd be Ryan Reynolds. Bank accounts? Yeah, that's the one. The plaintiff's out here trying to find some kind of proof that I, a creator, am getting paid by somebody outside of AdSense to make my content. Spoiler, I'm not. This whole demand for my financial records, straight up invasive as hell. Let me say it again. If they want dirt on Wayfair or any money moves between media and social, they better come directly to Wayfair instead of dragging me in every single bank account I share with, demanding private info. I just don't get why they need my bank numbers unless they planning to hit up the banks for even more records, which ain't got nothing to do with her case and is just plain invasive. Cassidy's motion to compel? Baby, that's the real deal.
Like if I was walking with my husband late at night and I see a shadowy figure coming towards us and it's dark, I would normally go on the other side of him, just to, it's your instinct to try to have your protector protect you. We're walking with a stroller. I don't know where we're walking with strollers with shadowy figures, but just to give you, the emotional parallel, now I go and I stand in front and go towards the figure. Just like it's very primal, that mama bear thing.
She says the First Amendment, her First Amendment rights, and this whole subpoena, it straight up violates those rights, because movement is just doing lawful commentary on a big-time lawsuit that the public needs to know about. She ain't even a party in the case or linked to anybody involved. This subpoena, it's trying to drag out an anonymous speaker who's just speaking facts. The plaintiffs, they ain't shown no proof of any wrongdoing, let alone enough to justify blowing up someone's privacy. Just because movement's taking shots that the plaintiff don't like doesn't mean they can silence them. That kind of move would seriously chill free speech. Honestly, I don't even know how Cassidy put this whole thing together, but it's sharp. She breaks down that the court's got no jurisdiction because they're playing in the wrong court, points out Google ain't given consent thanks to laws like the Stored Communications Act protecting user privacy, and calls out that they're trying to sneak through that act. Sound familiar? Girl, she out here trying to break the Stored Communications Act, no cap. And I swear, they thought Google wouldn't come knocking on us because every time they talk to the media, it's like they acting like they ain't subpoenaing nobody. Like they ain't sliding into Google asking for our bank accounts or private info. And let me tell you why so many of us are scared of Blake Lively getting hold of our info. Cassidy breaks it down under the Stored Communications Act, but she gotta use a pseudonym for safety. She's been through stalking, sexual assault, and legit credible threats before. And get this, plaintiff's counsel? They got a nasty habit in this case of not redacting info right, exposing home addresses of every Wayfair defendant. That mess led to death threats against all the defendants, including women, plus threats to kidnap and harm a wife and daughter who ain't even part of this whole lawsuit.
You seem like you're in love with him, but you love Ryle. And I was like, no, I also love Ryle, but like, I really love Atlas. He's like, you love Ryle. And I was like, wait, I'm sorry. Oh, wait, what's happening? But you love Ryle. I do, but like, she's conflicted. Totally. And that was always an interesting dynamic when you have somebody who's playing the character also being the one like looking at the movie. So we were always like, are we too connected? Are we too vibing? Yeah. But she loves Ryle. He's the best. I mean, she loves Atlas. She also loves Ryle. But she loves Atlas and young Lily.
Well, there were a lot of conversations early on before we cast. Honestly, before we even were at Sony, it was supposed to be a really small indie movie at Wayfair, and then Sony got involved later. Blake got cast, and it snowballed from there. But we had a lot of conversations about aging the roles up a little bit.
We're talking an arson attack. The arsonist locked up behind bars now, plus the reveal of 2 separate medical conditions, making the risk of personal info leak and harm way worse for folks caught up in this lawsuit. I think this might be the first time anyone spilled the tea to the judge about what happened to Steve Sarowitz and his wife. How someone actually tried to torch their house and kidnap their daughter all because of this lawsuit Blake stirred up, with folks saying Steve's got money to damage her, so he better pay up. Meanwhile, Ms. Lively throws fits about her own privacy and safety all day long. But honey, she won't give those same rights to nobody else. And get this, despite all that drama, the public ain't seen one single moment where the court slapped the plaintiff or her counsel with even a little discipline or warning for how sloppy and unprofessional they've been. That's facts. Oh, Cassidy? This was chef's kiss well written. She told the court straight up that giving Miss Lively what she wants would do irreparable harm. If the court plays along with Blake's wild demands, it'd open the door to a dangerous precedent, straight up trying to kill the First Amendment. The basic free speech, right all folks in this country got. Ms. Lively and her crew at Manat, Phelps, and Phillips, they already dropped one risky precedent in this whole mess, the Van Zandt sham lawsuit, where Blake snatched up the entire foundation for her retaliation claims, laid out in her CRD complaint, that New York Times piece, and the lawsuit that followed. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about it. If you're feeling the vibe, hit that like button. And if you're new to the fam, make sure you smash that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're the first to know when we drop the latest and greatest. Thanks for tuning in.